Today's video is a great one, you guys. So myself, my friend Audia from DIY with Audia, and this month's co-host Blossom Your Creativity, that's Debbie by the way, we bring to you the duping each other's duping creators, that is. So we had to choose one, two, or more creators and dupe one of their creations, but put our own twist to it. So as you saw just a second ago, I chose for DIY number one from Nona's here. She's one of our newest members, and we're so happy to have her. So in her the inspirational picture, you saw that her sign was really nice with the beautiful lavenders, whites, and grays. So it really did inspire me. So to start this project, I have two of these planks from the Dollar Tree, as you see, and I'm going to take that gel super glue. I ran it along one side of the sign, adhered the two of those together, and I'm going to take this masking tape, and this is going to make sure that these two pieces do not go anywhere. Now, I really love this particular method. It's one of my favorites because that super glue just really gives a nice solid foundation for these two signs. However, this is going to go on my mother's front door because she just moved into a brand new place. I'm so excited about that. But this is going to go on her front door, and I'm just going to go ahead and bring in some of these average size craft sticks, and I'm going to just hot glue these going the opposite way of the seam just to make sure that these do not go anywhere. By the way, my mother's birthday was on the 16th of this month. So if you would please, down in the comment section, help me wish my mother a very happy birthday. So now that I have these two signs connected into one, now I want to go ahead and paint these. Now what I chose to do is give myself a nice base coat of white, and then I wanted to go ahead and distress it using that beautiful Silver Lining or Nimbus. I believe it was Silver Lining chalk paint by Waverly. Now, when it comes to the selection of colors, I really wanted to bring out more of the gray because I feel like the gray and the lavender, they really play very well off of one another. There it is. I did use Nimbus. Nimbus is my foundational color, and I distressed with my white chalk paint. So after I have painted this, I'm going to set this aside to dry. Now this container here is just one of those laundry detergent pods containers. And what I'm going to do is going to go ahead and trim off the lip of this container so that I'm able to actually maneuver this just a little bit better. And when I say maneuver it, I mean to say that I want this to lay really nice and flush against my sign, which you will see in just a moment. When I actually finished using all the pods out of this particular container, I was like, this is a really nice shaped container and I've got to do something with it. So I held on to it for a couple of months. And when this collaboration came about, I was like, this is the perfect opportunity. So with this particular container, with plastic, I have noticed that paint does not really stick to it too well. You can sand it if you would like. I didn't feel like doing all of that. So what I did decide to do was take my chalk paint and actually mix a bit of Mod Podge into it. Now the Mod Podge will actually allow the paint to adhere to my container a bit better versus if I just put the paint on the container by itself. And what will happen with that is, because the plastic is very flexible, that chalk paint will just simply crackle right off. Now with this particular part, I think that the crackle effect would actually look very, very good. But again, I don't care too much for that really deep distressing. If you do, that's your option. As I used to say, it's your prerogative. So if that's what you like, go for it. So I've painted that and I've set it aside. So now my sign that I painted gray, I'm going to bring that back and I'm just going to dry brush some of the white chalk paint or matte paint just to give a little bit of texture and a little bit of definition. And again, when I am dry brushing, I'm always focusing on those edges because, as I've said before, time and time again, it does help to create like a natural border, a natural frame, and it just makes the project just pop a little bit more. If you want to make this more dirty, more grungy, feel free to add more browns, more of the antique wax, a little bit of black. Again, the choice is completely yours. So now that my container is dry, I am actually going to take some of that antiquing wax and I'm just going to really dry brush this onto my container. Now, when I'm dry brushing this antiquing wax, I really noticed that it really brought this to life. And again, I'm making sure that I'm getting those edges with this dry brushing, every nook, every cranny, and this, it just adds that certain dimension and texture that I'm looking for. You guys, I am so happy to have you here. If this is your first time here, of course, I would like to say welcome. If you are a long-time subscriber or just a long-time friend, I'm so glad to have you here. You know I cannot do this without you. If you have not, please subscribe to my channel, like and comment. You know, I'm telling you, it's just wonderful to have you here because you did not have to take time out of your busy schedule, your busy day, your busy life, just to spend a little bit of time with me here in YouTube land. And I am so appreciative of it. It does not go unnoticed. So you see, I have these two ribbons. One is a plain burlap and the other is a nice leaf or greenery printed burlap, which I did get from Sam's. And that's some pretty good quality ribbon, you guys. So I just measured this around the top perimeter of my container, and I'm going to go ahead and apply this with a little bit of hot glue. So once I have this first layer of this brown burlap ribbon, I'm going to go ahead and then bring in that second layer of the burlap ribbon that's in that white and the greenery print. And I'm just going to lay this right on top. So you see I have a gap in the middle on the back. I did that on purpose and I'll show you in just a moment. Well, not really. Let me explain it. So the reason I left that gap is because I'm going to take some of that same burlap ribbon. I'm going to take that and go around the bottom portion of my sign, which that you will see. And the reason I did that is so that my container will have something to really grab a hold of and make sure that it's really gripped and it's not going anywhere. Now, I don't know why I took the time to show you all me sitting here gluing this ribbon on because I'm sure you know how to do it. So once these two ribbons have been applied, now I'm going to go on and I'm going to show you how I'm just going to take that same wide brown burlap ribbon. And you see I just placed that around the bottom portion of this project. And again, that's going to give my container something to grab onto and to hold on to when I hot glue it. And you will see that all together at the end. So now I didn't have any words to spell out welcome, with none that I really cared for. So I'm just going to take these transfers. What are they called? Yeah, they're transfers. Rub-on transfers. There we go. I want to take these rub-on transfers and I'm just going to spell out what I like and what I know my mother would like to have on this sign for her door. I really love these rub-on transfers from the Dollar Tree because they are very good in quality, but they give you a really nice variety of items and words, pictures, characters to choose from. So as with anything else, I'm taking these transfers, I've cut them apart, but I'm going to lay these onto my project, and I am really just playing around with it, making sure that the placement is where it needs to be before I actually begin to transfer these onto my project. Once I'm happy with everything, of course, I'm going to remove the backing from that transfer, and then I'm going to go ahead and make sure that it's centered. Then I will take my burnishing tool, which is nothing more than a scraper, and then I'll go ahead and just begin to rub the transfer onto my project. What I have learned when using these rub-on transfers is it is wise to take the first portion, where at the beginning of it, start to rub it, and once that is rubbed on very nicely, then I just simply very lightly lift up one side of the actual transfer tape or paper, and then I continue to rub. That way I can lift it at the same time as I'm rubbing it, making sure that everything is intact, everything is where it needs to be. So here's what it looks like. And what I want to do on the front is I want to go ahead and place this little emblem. These are at the Dollar Tree. They say gather. They have some that say bless. I believe they have some that say farmhouse, and they are really, really cute. So I'm just taking this nice wooden round that I picked from the Walmart, and I'm going to place that gather in the middle, hot glue this onto the front, and this is what it looks like. So for DIY number 2, I chose this particular project by Debbie from Blossom Your Creativity. Now, I chose this one because it was so funny. These two, I guess you can call them barn or farmhouse doors, I actually had those in my stash. I picked these up maybe a year ago from Target, from the Target dollar spot. So I knew that I needed to use these. So I'm going to start off with these 2 barn doors, and I'm going to go ahead and remove the brackets from the back. Now I'm going to bring in some of these wood slats from the Dollar Tree, actually 4 of them, and I need to attach these. So what I started off with is my placement. Wanted to make sure that everything is nice and evenly spaced, making sure that the design, the layout, the placement is what I wanted. So a great pro tip that I learned from another YouTuber, I can't remember who it was, but you can use some of those tumbling tower game pieces to actually space out your pieces to make sure that everything is really truly evenly spaced out. So once I have eyeballed where I want this to be, I'm going to lay down a foundation of hot glue. You don't have to use a permanent adhesive, because what I like to do, and what I did do, is once this glue's set up, then I just turned it over, and I'm going to take my staples, and I'm just going to staple gun, and I'm going to go ahead and staple these in place. So the same thing that I have done to this side, I'm going to do to the opposite side. So now that I have both of my doors connected to these beautiful 4 slats, now I'm going to take some of this masking tape, and I'm just going to go ahead and tape off the inner sides of these barn doors. And the reason I'm doing this is because I want to go ahead and do a bit of dry brushing just to bring out those wood slats. I didn't really want to make these a really dark brown. I didn't really want them to be a bright white either. I wanted that natural wood to come through, but just with a little bit of distressing. So I'm going to use 3 various colors, and the first that I'm going to use is my white matte paint. I'm just dry brushing, the first layer down. Once I'm content with that, I'm going to go ahead and bring in some black chalk paint, dry brushing with that. And then the third color that I chose is also that beautiful gray. And again, I'm just mixing these with the dry brush technique because I'm loving the color combination all at the same time, while I'm able to see that beautiful natural wood grain coming through. Now, when you are dry brushing, and if you get too heavy-handed, don't worry about it. There's no need to scrap your your project. Just take a little bit more of a brighter or darker color. Just go through, and trust me, you can correct it. So once I have done my dry brushing and I'm pretty happy with it, I'm going to set that aside to dry. I found this nice stake from the Dollar Tree. I think it's a yard stake, not quite sure. But what I did was I just simply removed the stick from the back, and that stick you can keep for later on because it has a beautiful wood grain on the top of it. So with this, I am going to go ahead and bring in some more of these beautiful transfers. And with the transfers for this one, I'm using the same one that Debbie used on her project. This is the Farm Fresh Flowers. And again, I'm just burnishing this onto it, making sure that it's very secure onto my project. And after I have burnished it, I like to go back with the actual transfer paper and just rub over the transfer just to be sure that I have rubbed everything into place. So now I'm just going to use some of this beautiful border transfers. Then I'm going to bring in some greenery transfers as well. And those, I can't find those anymore, y'all. I wish I could because I absolutely love them. And I'm just going to have fun with this. So as you see, again, I started off transferring it. And once I began to get the first part, or the first portion, then I lifted up my transfer paper and continued to burnish the rest of it down to the project. So here I am with the greenery, and I'm just going to, again, do my placement and repeat the process of burnishing these onto my project. So this is what it looks like with all of those beautiful transfers on it. I'm just going to center this, and this portion I will use some of my permanent adhesive along with my hot glue. Once this is placed where I need it to be, then I'll just bring in some greenery, some florals, just to decorate the top. I didn't want to go overboard with this with any bows or anything. Again, I wanted to keep this really nice and simple. To me, this is just beautiful and elegant. I love this project because it is very versatile. You don't have to do this exactly like I did it. You can always put your own flair, your own taste to it. The sky is truly the limit. These greeneries here, these did come off of those vines from the Dollar Tree. I absolutely love these because they're that nice hard plastic. So again, I'm just decorating these with these greeneries, putting on a little bit of florals, and I will show you at the end of the video how these look. Well, how this looks. Well, you guys, here is what my two projects look like together. I am so pleased with how these two projects turned out. Again, please go check out the playlist, which will be in my description box below. Please check out the entire playlist, but be sure that you check out Nona's Here and also Blossom Your Creativity. I'm so glad that you took time out of your schedule to be here with me. I hope you enjoyed the video as much as I enjoyed putting this together and bringing it to you. Again, please leave a happy birthday comment to my mother. Again, her birthday was on the 16th of this month. I'm sure that will do her heart some good, and I would certainly appreciate it. Well, as always, my prayer for you is that you continue to stay blessed, you continue to stay healthy as well. Until the next time, my prayers for you, again, be blessed in Jesus' holy name. Bye-bye.